You are listening to the Business and Brews Show. This has been the Afterbrews. My name and your host tonight is Ryan Smeltz. Our sponsor, of course, in part, is Trek CBD with Nick. Be sure to check them out at trekcbd.com. And tonight, I had the pleasure of speaking with
Leslie McMillan from LSM Insurance. We work with individuals for health, life, dental, disability, for the affordable health care, Medicare, and short-term medical. We bring clarity to confusion, one client at a time.
Welcome, Leslie, to the Afterbrews.
I still got my brew.
Normally, if I had a button-up shirt, I would undo one, like just to show that I'm relaxed. I do not have a button-up shirt. This is a shirt that my fiance got me. It fits very nice.
It is.
But and I moved as well, so normally we were doing the show up in Wake Forest, and then we went virtual, which, as you see, has been a little bit of a challenge, but I have an office that I moved out of, and now basically, you can't tell by my background, I'm essentially in the corner of the living room, but we're getting there. It's super fun. I love podcasting. I like talking a lot, and I like talking to business owners. So, I'm
in Roseville.
Rolesville. What's that?
Yeah.
Okay. So you said you weren't born there. So talk to me a little bit about that. Like how did that all come? Like, this is where we're gonna live. What's that look like?
Oh, well, that's kind of interesting. My husband and I had lived in Washington, D.C. after having gotten married and all that. And I had a corporate job and he had a corporate job. And, we had a great time. And we were basically married for like 11 years. And then we decided that we wanted to have a family. And we ended up going to China to get our daughter.
Holy smokes.
That was 20 years ago.
Wow. And
that was like, I can remember it yesterday. So, once we had gotten our daughter, her name's Kayla, we got settled and we lived there for 5 more years. And we had, we had the Sniper in Washington, D.C. You might not remember that, but you can Google it. We had, of course, the 9/11, and I worked for Aon Consulting, and we lost a whole lot of people in Tower 2. And we had Jersey barriers at the World Bank with machine guns and all of that. We had Code Orange and Code Red, and it was a hard time. And it was an amazing time to be, here because in Washington, D.C., because there was a lot going on and all. But, having a family kind of just makes the things look different. And we decided that Washington really, with the traffic and all of that and the quality of life for us, having a kid and all, we were in, traffic like for 2 hours, and then we'd have to go get her from daycare or something. So we decided that we wanted to do something else. And my husband, I always said I sell insurance so I could work anywhere. I just never expected my husband to call my bluff. But he did. And he read an article from the Boston Globe, and it said, you could move from, Washington, D.C. or New England, and you could move down to the South, and you could get a pretty good sized house, and you wouldn't pay as much as you were paying up there. Yeah. So we decided to go look, and through a series of, I guess, mishaps, we ran into a hurricane in southern North Carolina, and on our way back we came to Raleigh because we cut our Hurricane Charlie cut our little trip short. Came into Raleigh, and we just fell in love. We fell in love with the area. We fell in love with the culture. We fell in love with how nice everybody was, and we loved the weather. You know, I grew up in Rhode Island and Massachusetts, and if I never have to shovel snow again, it'll be too soon.
Right.
So I love the fact that, you know, this whole area. And so we decided to move down here 15 years ago, and we've made it our home.
It's awesome. I remember back in 92 when my dad had bought a house in McMillan, and that's how I ended up in North Carolina, which is funny because I wouldn't still be here if it wasn't for family, because I was in the Army for 10 years. So I actually went Missouri, Louisiana, Germany. Of course, I deployed to Iraq, came back, went to Texas. I'll tell you what, Leslie, I love Texas. I think we want to move to Texas. It's really just a matter of getting our stuff together and lining everything up. But I love Texas. It is phenomenal, and there's so much to do down there. There's so many different restaurants. There's so many different sights to see. But
oh yeah, I've been down to San Antonio.
Yeah.
Saw the Alamo a couple years ago. This is a while back. I've been to, I think I put my toe in Mexico.
Yeah.
But and then I have friends that just moved to Austin.
Nice.
And so they love it there.
Oh yeah, I love Texas. I'll tell you what, I just like being able to grill out 11 and a half months out of the year. It's like, you know, no limitations. I've been to Jacob's Well, I've been to Hamilton Pool. Those are natural phenomenon. It's like water based, I guess you would say. I love the water, and I like nature. So it's like a combination. Plus, if you Google those places, the pictures are just insane. It's like, I gotta go there. And so, you know, that plus I got a buddy that lives in Conroe. So there's Conroe Lake, and he has a boat. And then I got another buddy, another friend of mine. He's Mexican. He moved up from Mexico and was like, you know, I want to live the American dream. And so now he probably speaks English better than I do, and loves beer, and owns a house, and has a kid, and he's like the nicest guy in the world. And it's like, I just can't wait. Personally, I can't wait to go back to Texas. I love
That's awesome.
It's fantastic. But for now, you know, we're here. North Carolina is amazing as well, and it has just as much to see and do, I think. So. Oh
yeah, when we can see and do.
Yeah, right. So you've kind of been on. You know, I have. My actual job entails me going to a warehouse environment to ship out orders on a regular basis. So I get to go out of the house. It's definitely not very people involved, but I do have this. So you get to hold those meetings or conferences that you talked about. So you tell me a little bit about that. Like, that's your people exposure, right?
Yeah, well, you know, I call my shopping, I try to go out once a week. I call it reconnaissance. Because, you know, I'm going out, I'm trying to get done as quickly as possible, you know, trying to get back, trying to be strategic, you know, where I'm going and all of that. You know, so it's not really very fun because, you know, it's not like you're chilling and being able to relax and stuff. You're kind of like, okay, how far can I go to get the eggs before I bump into somebody else?
Yeah.
But So but as far as what I do is I do Zoom meetings, and I do another screen sharing thing called Join Me. It's a little bit easier because when you share your screen, you're sharing your screen. You don't have to click any buttons like you do on Join Me, or Zoom, I mean, to make sure people see it. So, yeah, I'm doing that. And, I just trying to behave myself in terms of not getting out there. And, before it got really bad, we would sit out on a Friday night with our neighbors and sit 6 feet apart from each other and have a party. And that was great. We had that. But now that it's cold out, we're not doing that anymore. Yeah. So I'll be looking forward to either doing that again, or better yet, having a grilling out in the backyard with friends and family and being able to, hug people again. I miss hugging people.
Yeah, definitely. Oh man, it's crazy. I mean, everything we got going on right now, but I think it's super important to realize that it's like, it's not going to last forever. At some point, we're going to get the opportunity, no matter what it looks like, to interact and
I think one of the things that I think it's important to think about is, I think we're all going to be a lot more grateful when we get back to being together. Things like, getting together for a couple of beers without having to worry about it. All of a sudden it's going to be like, wow, this was really cool because we couldn't do this for a while. And the simple things are actually going to be, I think we're going to be more appreciative of stuff because we're going to get to do it. Sometimes I watch a movie or see a concert on TV and everybody is like squished together. Yeah. And, you got like, all of a sudden you're like, what's going on here? But I really look forward to those times when you can go over to Walnut Creek and sit out and on a blanket and listen to good music and not have to worry about anybody being too close.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. No, I can't wait. But I'm super happy, Leslie, especially about, businesses like yours where, our favorite sushi place shut down because they couldn't pivot, and not, being able to do something like that, whether, it may not be their fault. Maybe, as best I can tell, of course, the chef is the person that owned the place. And, maybe it was his wife that was the waitress. I don't know, an acquaintance, a friend. I don't want to assume anything, but it's like they don't understand technology really at all. So no DoorDash, no Uber Eats, no Grubhub, none of that. So they weren't able to do that. They weren't able to do delivery. They weren't able to convert to do anything outside. So businesses that are not able to pivot are not going to survive. And you and your business, you were able to take on the challenge, understand what was happening, and make the necessary changes and adjustments to be able to feel that. So I'm super happy about that, and I'm really impressed.
Thanks. It's kind of funny because I feel very grateful that I decided to try Zoom. I mean, I know a lot of people that, I've recommended it to start. And, the first, you're a podcaster, sometimes you're here talking to yourself, but you just got to keep going and you got to use you can spend a lot of money. I don't think I have. I've basically put a lot of things on Facebook and on different other social media that's free, Instagram and LinkedIn and stuff. I didn't know it would work. I mean, I really didn't. I'm very grateful that it is and that it seems to be resonating with people. They seem to find it to be helpful. But that's the other piece of it. You know, you've got to have something worth, you know,
oh yeah,
content. It's important, you know.
Yeah.
So, I just am very grateful. I've worked really hard over the last 15 years, and I'm very grateful that I was able to pivot, as you said.
Yeah.
And it's really hard to watch very great. One of my favorite businesses, the wine cellar off of Falls and Noose. It's now it's been sold and it's under a new company. I forget what they're going to call it, but it was a great place to go and unwind, and they're gone. Yeah. So a lot of, you know, and I don't know, maybe they decided that was, you know, either they economically couldn't do it or they just didn't feel like they could get through this time period. I don't know.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, I think overall, you know, the small businesses we talk to, I think contribute a lot when it comes to our show. And I hope that the people who watch and listen to the show learn a lot, because I think it's important, you know, and that's one reason why we started the show, How to Build a Business in a Pandemic, is because I think it's important to be able to recognize and understand the things that you can do as a small business owner, as an entrepreneur. And too many times, you know, maybe people are afraid to take that step, afraid to pull the trigger. And, you know, someone like you, having been involved in business for so long, just realizing that, hey, this is this new thing that I have to handle. Let's handle it. And so I'm really happy that you've done so well with it. And I honestly hope, Leslie, that, you know, the stuff we talked about today helps somebody else, so they can succeed in their business. And
me too. I hope so too.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of good networking groups out there, even though they're all on Zoom now. There's the BNI, Business Networking International, and there's Women in Business, Women in Networking. WIN, that's another one. They have groups all over the area. You know, you can, you know, there's lots of different women's groups and Facebook groups that you can get involved with. I think you have to market yourself as well as you can within the parameters that you are comfortable with. But if you do join some of these groups, I think that sometimes you get stretched because you're working with like-minded people. And then, you know, you might be able to talk to somebody. And, you know, we don't build our businesses in a vacuum. We have to have other people that kind of like partner with us. I had a great meeting on Friday with a friend of mine who's in my WIN group, and we were talking about our businesses. And, you know, just sometimes talking about your business with somebody else, you can see things that you need to do that you wouldn't have seen without that help.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome, Leslie. I really appreciate, once again, you being here.
Thank you.
I look forward to this portion being released on Wednesday.
Me too.
I can't wait. Super excited. So basically, you know, anytime we talk to a business owner, it's automatically, you know, 2 episodes, and then that gets released everywhere. So the live portion that we just did, of course, is on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. And then, you know, the recorded version goes out everywhere anybody listens to a podcast or watches those. But I'll definitely I'll add you into our Facebook group we have for the guests that we have on the show. It's not very large, but the goal is to be able to have business owners helping business owners. And of course, like I said, Nick will probably reach out as well. So you are listening to the Business and Brews show. This has been the Afterbrews. My name and your host tonight is Ryan Smeltz. Our sponsor of course, in part is Trek CBD with Nick. Be sure to check them out at trekcbd.com. And tonight I had the pleasure of speaking with
Leslie McMillan from LSM Insurance. We work with individuals for health, life, dental, disability, for the affordable health care, Medicare, and short-term medical. We bring clarity to confusion, one client at a time.